Rosalind Starling is the younger sister of Cordelia and Juliet Starling. She is also infamous amongst her sisters for her ditzy personality, her habit of unintentionally demolishing things, and her terrible driving skills. Unlike her older sisters, Rosalind lacks a specific, signature weapon as her profile notes, being willing to use anything as long as it is really destructive. She is at the time of writing voiced by Kimberly Brooks in the English version, and Maria Ayase in the Japanese version. Events of Lollipop Chainsaw. The audience is first introduced to Rosalind when Juliet is preparing for school, mentioning about a younger sister who recently obtained a driver's license, expressing her dismay for her poor knowledge in motor vehicles and her driving instructor's decision to grant her a license. She is later physically seen when Juliet awakens from an interrupted nightmare made by Mariska's psychedelic hallucinations. Rosalind is then seen driving recklessly through the abandoned farm in a mysterious school bus. Greeting each other upon arrival, Rosalind claims that she entered the farm in order to save Juliet. To her dismay, Rosalind is finding difficulty maintaining control over the bus. Rosalind then drops off Juliet her birthday present, before unwillingly abandoning her. Rosalind then repeatedly escapes the grasp of Juliet when trying to save her, creating much hysteria and frustration in her mission. When Juliet finally reaches the bus, a presumed Rosalind tells her to get in. Once the two begin a conversation, Juliet grows suspicious as Rosalind has sudden knowledge about motor vehicles. It is later revealed that this is a dark purveyor in the guise of Rosalind. It is later revealed that Rosalind was under a form of influence by the dark purveyor Mariska. Once Mariska is defeated, Juliet discovers that Rosalind has been kidnapped once again by another mysterious dark purveyor on her phone. Determined to get her, Juliet plans to risk herself in order to save Rosalind. To her luck, her father, Gideon Starling, suddenly appears on his motorcycle, about to aid Juliet in her plan to save Rosalind. The three then go forth to the Foci Fund Center in order to retrieve her. Juliet is to act as a decoy, while her father is busy sneaking to the Foci Fund Center looking for Rosalind. Once at the roof of the building, she finally confronts Josie, the master of funk, once demanding for Rosalind back. Josie claims that Juliet must defeat him in return for her sister. Once weakened, Josie reveals that his death will result in the loss of Rosalind, showing that Josie has deceived them. Rosalind was at the bottom of Josie's ship, an area in which they could not reach. Luckily, Rosalind was saved by her father, where the two parachuted down to safety. Angered, Josie was killed for deceiving Juliet. Later at the cathedral, Rosalind aids Juliet once entering the construction site of cathedral. Rosalind finds a wrecking machine in order to eliminate enemies, but sadly causes problems when Rosalind fails to control it, also capable of causing harm towards Juliet. Rosalind is later attacked by a horde of flying zombies, causing damage to Rosalind's vehicle, who is later saved and leave Juliet to fend on her own. As Juliet and Nick are inside Killer Billy's body, we briefly see Rosalind and Cordelia trying to fight the weakened beast. After Killer Billy's defeat, when Nick and Juliet are about to kiss, Rosalind interrupts it. The Starlings and Nick then go home to further celebrate Juliet's birthday. Personality. Rosalind attributes a more ditzy personality in that of comparison with Juliet. In situations, she often tries to find both optimistic and pessimistic values. She shows an excitable, destructive, and dangerous personality, but with innocent and oblivious intent. Despite obtaining a driver's license, she shows no experience or proper ability in driving. Her gullibility and foolishness has also shown to be a significant factor in the story, as she is constantly kidnapped throughout her appearance in the game. She is implicitly unstable, and is heard laughing even in the face of danger. Symbolism. Rosalind may be a symbolic reflection of Juliet's bubbly but ditzy persona. This is shown in the game when the player is exposed to Rosalind's unintelligent personality, similar to Juliet's alter ego at school, in order to prevent the suspicions of her dark family secret. Rosalind's poor driving skills may be symbolic of Juliet's control over her life during the zombie apocalypse, and how she has lost control over it because of it. Rosalind could also be based upon the Rosalind of Shakespeare's novel Romeo and Juliet. This is shown with Rosalind's jealousy over Juliet and how she managed to attain a boyfriend, who symbolizes Romeo, though this may be a display of irony, as in the original novel Rosalind rejects Romeo's love in the very beginning. as the rest of the infamous Starling sisters. She's named after a Shakespeare character. In her case, Rosalind, heroine and protagonist of As You Like It.